Dr. Gina is back for another half an hour. If you have issues with mobility, getting around, you think you're getting older and you can't deal with it, she's got an answer for you. That's not the case. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Your Little Castle Show. Again, I am very fortunate to have the good graces to meet experts. Doctors come into the studio here to talk to me about things that we all deal with. Mobility is one of the most important things. If you talk about the fact that, if you think about it, gosh, I'd be terrible to lose my sight. It'd be terrible to lose my hearing. But if I couldn't get around, there's a lot. I could go without having hearing sometimes. A lot of things. Now, I could have gone well without hearing that, but if you can't get from A to B around in your own house, and a lot of people have these stair lifts now, what if you could just walk up the steps yourself? You can't carry anything. You've got some solutions for this.
I have a lot of solutions for it, but the important thing is to figure out what's going on and why. So a lot of people are coming to me now, not from an acute injury, but they woke up and ouch, or they went to get out of their car or lift a grocery bag and now they have an injury. But why did that start? I can't. They might not have that answer. I may not care about the answer, but there's a reason that just waking up caused you pain. So I figured that out and then fix it from there.
Yeah, how many people, they went to bed fine, everything was there, and then what do? They're twerking, they're torquing their back, they're twisting something.
Who knows?
It's pinching a nerve, and it causes them to where now they can't lift their leg or they're numb. I have numbness periodically from standing too much. I've had a chiropractor look at that. It gets better, obviously, with treatment. But what kind of issues are people dealing with? And then they've got to go somewhere for that. If you go to a traditional doctor, I'm not sure how they would deal with that. You've got your nervous system controls so much about our body. What are the normal causes for those things? What are you looking for to help people with?
Well, people are creatures of habit, and it's a lot of repetitive motion stuff. So we kind of teach our bodies how to move, and if we move in the same way over and over and over, we adapt. And if we're not moving properly, then we're adapting and compensating poorly. And then that changes the way we function and ambulate. So we have to change how we move. And that starts with posture and sitting, and even the way, we do sleep. Like, I can make my recommendations on the best way to start sleeping, but once we're unconscious, there's not much we can do to fix that. But if you wake up in the middle of the night, then put yourself back into the better position. Or just doing daily activities. When people are vacuuming, everyone wants to just vacuum on one side. I treat it as exercise. I go both sides. If I'm shoveling, I shovel 10 times on the right, 10 times on the left, because I wouldn't go
both arms.
I wouldn't go to the gym and just do a bicep curl on my right side.
Right.
But everyone does their daily activities all one-sided. And it's harder when you have to switch sides. Things go slower, and they're maybe not as accurate, but that's what we do to ourselves on a daily basis, and then we wonder why we hurt. And it could be as simple as just changing those daily activities and being more aware of how you should be doing them.
Now, you're talking about some of the mistakes people. What is the biggest mistake somebody makes when they have an issue? They decide to try to heal it themselves. They don't get treatment. They get medication that eases the pain. What are some of the issues people have when they're not dealing with these things the right way?
If it's neuromusculoskeletal, it's nothing. If you don't do anything and you just sit because you think it needs to rest, that is one of the hardest things, because it will just perpetuate the condition in a lot of cases. It's just like going to, get your car looked at, and they want to know what type of noise your car is making. That helps them diagnose, right? So I want to know what your body's saying to you. And I ask you a series of questions of as far as type of pain. And then together we know how you can safely move. But if you just stay sedentary and you're not getting that movement, then the symptoms are going to continue. So just doing nothing and resting is not always the answer, but that's what a lot of people think.
Can it be as easy as just making a phone call to you, and you can at least talk to them a little bit over the phone and maybe do a quick, I mean, what's a normal consultation? You said it's about 20 minutes, and what are you doing? Are you running scans? Are you diagnosing here? What can you figure out with somebody?
If you're a current patient of mine, they just text me. I mean, I have one phone number. It's my cell phone. And I always tell them if I'm not available, then I'm not going to respond, and I'll respond when I can. But, you know, I encourage them, like, if you're feeling something and I can answer something over the phone and make you feel better, then you're not overthinking your problem and then going down the rabbit hole of the stress from thinking you have a larger problem, and then that can cause the problem to intensify. So it's, again, that mindset thing that I help people deal with and bring them off the ledge and calm them down on. So that's just for patients that are current patients. New patients, I'm even happy to talk to. Just call me, talk to me, and see if what I have to offer is what you need. And if I'm talking to you, I'm also vetting my patients. I'm not going to have you come to me if I'm not the right person for you to come to. So I will then make a referral as a portal of entry doctor. It's my job to know if I'm not that person, I have the right people to refer you to.
What are some of the diagnostics techniques that you use? Can you tell by twisting somebody's arm a little bit, or do you have scans that you run, or how do you determine a little bit about what's wrong with
I don't have any fancy equipment. I do have scans that I do. I do have software that I use, but my biggest is my hands and my eyes. I see things that I'm even shocked sometimes that I see. Patients will come in and not tell me what's wrong because they think it's entertaining to see if I can figure it out. So it could just be, you know, I'll look at something, I'll touch something, my hands. Even when I was teaching, I was a clinician and I oversaw interns, or I worked with the adjusting curriculum, a part of the curriculum at Logan University, and I would look at students and be like, well, don't you feel this? And this is what you should feel. And they'll be like, I don't feel it. So it's something that I was gifted to do. So it's a lot of visual, it's understanding my anatomy in the body and how it should work and not work, and it's my ability to touch and feel. And that's something that's gotten lost on with a lot of doctors. A lot of doctors will actually put their hands on you, and that's something chiropractors are
that's kind of the nature
amazing at.
Okay. Yeah, so it seems like you have a specific talent that you've tapped into to help diagnose and figure out what's going on with somebody.
Yes, I was blessed.
Dig in to figure out at the core what's going on, whereas most people, let's get an x-ray, let's get a scan, MRI, all those things are wonderful, but you can actually put your hands on it because a scan will just run over the body, whatever. Mm-hmm. But for you to actually feel the muscle or to tell where they have a tightness or a nerve with your expert training in your hands, many years of practice, now you can help people really get at the core of the issue much more quickly.
And if I have a diagnosis, a working diagnosis, and we do treatment and I don't see results relatively quickly, and I'm talking like 3 visits, then I'm going to think, I'm going to try a different technique here, or I'm going to investigate a little further, and at that point maybe I do recommend an x-ray, or maybe I do call out for an MRI. But even when I do x-rays differently. I do a lot of upright x-rays, and I have to find facilities that will do those type of x-rays, because when you get x-rays done, they just want to lay you on a table. And if I'm working with someone with bad knees, I want to see what their knee looks like loaded. So I want an upright view of the knee. So I do use tools when I need to use tools, but there's nothing. I rely on my hands and my brain and my eyes, and that is my primary tool.
It's a matter of function for somebody who's got that expertise, that training, the background you bring. That's one in a million people have that kind of specific training and those skills, and so it's neat to see you helping other people to rehabilitate. Because how often is it if somebody's not immobile, how bad is that for their lifestyle? It's just completely deteriorated and not healthy and not fun, and nobody likes to be bound and limited to where they can go and what they can do in life.
Yeah.
What do you like most about the St. Louis area and the people you get to help here in St. Louis? You're born and raised here, your family here, your brothers
I
here?
wasn't born here. I had a stint for 3 months in Connecticut where I was born.
Okay.
But I
Raised here, I guess.
raised here,
Yeah.
and I actually still live in my childhood home
Oh, really?
in West County. So after losing my parents, I bought the home. And so we have been the only people in that home. And so I couldn't imagine living anywhere else or being anywhere else. Like I said, I went to Louisville for a bit, but back here.
What do you like about the people that you work with here in St. Louis? You find that there's a good nature? Are people here, do they listen to what you say, or is there some bias based on the beliefs in our culture and our community, or how does St. Louis as a whole respond to you? I guess it depends on the person.
It depends. I don't even know if that's different in St. Louis over anywhere else, since I've never been anywhere. But with Logan University being here and being such an amazing institution, then I think that does help us as chiropractors and people recognizing our work. And I do feel like the medical field is opening up more to integrative care with chiropractors. So it's gotten better, but when I first graduated, it was not that way. It was an uphill battle, but It has definitely gotten better over time.
Do you think Logan's had a lot to do with that, and it's the idea that they can work together with doctors because there's treatment for emergent care and immediate issues, but also long-term remedies that you can. The spine has so much to do with what goes wrong in people, the nervous system.
It's the start. It's the core. Our spine encases our nervous system. So if that's not functioning right, then the nervous system becomes aberrant, and then you get the tingling and the numbness or pinching or stabbing, or and then you try to avoid that, and then other things start to fail.
Yeah, back to
domino effect.
Stay in shape, stay healthy, and find remedies for those. If you ignore these problems you're talking about, they will get worse. That's not the issue. It's not. You don't need rest many times. It's something that has to be rehabilitated and treated, and you've got the expertise to help people to understand that. Sports therapist, is that kind of the category of some of what you falls into to help? Give me a little bit more about the sports certification you got.
Well, the sports rehab specialization is because at one point I did want to go to the Olympics with a gymnastics team and be an Olympic chiropractor. And in order to do that, I had to get the certification, and then I had to have a team that I worked with for a certain number of years to even apply. So that's why I started that. And then life morphed and changed, and that didn't happen. But I loved working with young athletes, and especially in a sport that I loved. So I was able to combine two things that was very entertaining for me. And then that changed into posture rehab. So I would say basically I am more of a corrective exercise specialist. I deal with injuries and traumas and with athletes as well, but I still do corrective exercise with them. So I have a different way of treating them than I did when I just had my sports rehab certification. So when we say we practice as doctors, I guess that's a part of it. Like I keep practicing, and I keep learning, and I keep adding different modalities. It's always a work in progress.
There we go. Modalities, everybody. Well, tell me a time. You've obviously treated many clients, many, I should say, these aren't clients, these are patients, right?
They're both, yeah.
Both, I guess. But give me an example of somebody you knew that was in a real tough situation, that starting off with you, bad situation, tough, but after working with you, you've got to have dozens of, if not hundreds of examples where they come back and they're like, holy cow, things have come. Your reviews we talked about. If you missed the first show, everybody, check out what Dr. Gina talked about here. But give me a couple of examples of people you knew that really bounced back with some of your work.
Well, there was a patient, I will always remember this, and it just justified why the time I spend is so critical. She came in holding her head in her hands, and I was relatively new, maybe 5-10 years out, just holding her head in her hands. And honestly, I can't say that I wasn't a little afraid. Like, I had no idea what was going on, and I'm assessing her and looking at her, and I couldn't touch her, like she was in that much pain. I tried to do what I could. It wasn't working. Came back 2 or 3 more times, and again, it hit that time for me where I was like, all right, I got to do something different, because I can't keep having her come back if I can't do anything. So I just sat with her and I said, what's going on in your life? And she just started to cry. And she said, I just lost my dad. She's like, this is the first time I've cried since losing my dad. And that must have been her source of pain. I was able to, at that point, break through and help her. And so it's more of a chemical, emotional, physical combination that's a case I will always remember, because that justified the time I spend in getting to know these patients and what needs to be done.
Yeah, there's a lot that we don't understand about the human psychiatry, the human mind, and the way it interoperates with our body and how we respond, and can cause a depression. But you were able to help her too, even as though it wasn't technically a physical thing.
It wasn't, yeah. That was definitely an emotional trauma that caused a physical symptom. And then other patients that will come to me with back pain, and because I talk and listen to them, I realize, okay, you've got a kidney stone, or your gallbladder is messed up, or there are internal organ issues that will refer pain out to the musculoskeletal system. So again, that's where I have to step in and say, I'm not the right office for you. There's somewhere else to go. So there are a lot of cases like that I've seen. I have to say one of my favorites is that gentleman from Arkansas. That was the day 1, walking into my office, could barely walk. Day 2, I drove into the office on a Saturday, and I was like, I even did a little video and said, I don't know where it is. It's somewhere if they search. I'm about to go to the office. I have no idea what I'm walking into, but here we go. And I get out of the car, and he jumps out of the car, comes up to me, and at first I was like, slow it down. But the smile on his face, the fact that he was mobile and moving and out of pain, that is one of my favorites. That was the most recent too. So that was awesome.
Well, it's great to hear such success stories. Many years in business. Also, tell me some of the challenges, any one of particular challenge you overcame as a business owner or as a doctor that you were like, wow, that was interesting. I didn't realize that was something I would have to deal with, but made you stronger and helped you to learn.
Oh, it's all the business. I'm a clinician. I love being a clinician. I don't like being a businesswoman, and that's never been my forte, but I'm forced into it. I have to do it. I mean, I provide for myself, or I provided for my employees when I had my employees. So that is definitely not something I was prepared for, and not something I enjoyed. Other than that, no, nothing else. Everything else has been easy sailing and an absolute blessing.
Well, the impact you're having on people helps to make a big difference, and that's why I enjoy talking to chiropractors. We had a few very good friends that are chiropractors, and they really make a big impact, and appreciate the work that you do. With that, we're going to jump out a little bit more of our community. We work in all realms. We were at a charity event to bring awareness to Alzheimer's, and so stay tuned here. We'll be back here in just a minute.
Come on in, Nick.
Here's our filibuster. Here's our filibuster.
Yeah, so Mark Cox. Where's Larry Connors? So I am filibustering today. I've got 3 hours on radio, so I'm going to be very brief today. Want to thank Tommy for all that he does. Yeah, applaud yourself, Tommy. I mean, you can look around here, the business owners that Tommy has helped, the judges, the elected officials. If you're an elected official, if you've ran, if you're a former elected official, raise your hand so we can give you guys applause. Pete? Yeah, raise your hand, Pete. See you looking at. But I know Tommy has helped all of you out, so thank you for coming back, giving back. I won't be walking today, as Tommy told me I had to dress like a cowboy. I see the only one that got the memo is Cardinal Cowboy. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. Like Joe said, this is the community. We stand out. I would throw this community up against Lincoln County, Pike County, St. Louis County, because we all come together to help things like ending Alzheimer's. We're going to do it.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So there you have it, everybody. Our book we talk about, Magnetized Media. Yours truly wrote the foreword here. They said, Carter, you essentially wrote the first chapter, but I talk about it, how you need to use media these days, because now we don't have an excuse. We all have one of these little phones in our pocket somewhere. Sometimes us weirdos, we carry like 2 of them around, right? Just to make sure that I can record while I'm on a Zoom or whatever we need to do. But how has technology changed the way you've had to do business? Getting a website, doing social media, sharing your message out there with people.
Oh, I guess that would go down with the business aspect of it. It's not something that comes naturally to me. It's very intimidating and very necessary. So I developed my own website. I maintain my own website. So be nice when seeing it. I do my own everything. It's just it's not my thing.
Well, media these days has become easier, and we're going to help you out here. We've got a lot of good content that we help people to create, and but somebody like yourself who does great work and really does impact people and helps a lot of people, people just need to know about it. So that's why we started this whole show, and to help smaller businesses that are out there, because they don't have a $50,000 a week budget like some of those big guys do. But they do have a good message and they do good things. Tell me the process, though. What is it if somebody wants to become a patient, a client of yours? How do they go about doing so?
They message me.
Direct right there, huh?
That's it. That's it. You can go to my website and send a message. You can text me. You can go to Facebook Messenger. Just reach out. That's the first step. That's it.
There's the contact form that'll submit to you right away. You got your email here and your cell phone. It doesn't say office, it says cell.
That's it.
Because you're going to get a direct connection to the doctor through that cell phone that she's got right there. And it's on our screen here. I'll put it up on the wall for everybody to see too. I'll let it rotate, and there it is. 537-6531, drginadc.com, and she will help you with your needs. Mobility is their specialty. What do you think is the biggest objection most people have to going to see a doctor of chiropractic or somebody who specializes in your space? What do people hesitate? What are the questions they have?
The cracking, maybe, or just the unknown. I can't tell you that I do one specific thing, and there are a lot of chiropractors that have different specialties, just like medical doctors do. So I don't think patients are aware that not all chiropractors are the same, that we each have our own niche or our own specialty. So it's just the unknown. But when it does come down to that whole cracking, I have other ways to make things move without that, and I am very specific when I do adjust. So instead of your neck rattling, if I want one area to move, I get that one area to move.
An expert here, everybody, that obviously has spent years and can diagnose, and your hands are your most powerful tools,
That's
right?
it.
And to really help people to get back to that mobility that they enjoy about life. As we finish up here quickly, give me what gives you the most satisfaction about what you get to do here?
I like to see results and change. So I like that I can use chiropractic, work with corrective exercise and mobility, and then I have a specific weight loss program that works from the inside out, just as chiropractors do. We work from the inside out, working at the cellular level with boosting metabolism and changing the way your body functions so it can burn fat and decrease inflammation and therefore decrease pain and get that bikini body ready. But I love that I have all these different aspects that can help just make you live longer and happier.
Stay tuned, everybody. You're watching the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.